Now, I mentioned WrestleMania a little while ago. There was a report this week attributed to the website Give Me Sport. Not a website I would usually associate with insider information, so I am skeptical about this, but I thought it could make for an interesting discussion topic either way, as far as which match people would prefer to see at WrestleMania. So they reported that there is a difference of opinion between Vince McMahon and Triple H on the subject of what the Universal title match should be at WrestleMania 35. Triple H, supposedly, would prefer to see Brock Lesnar retain his championship at the Royal Rumble against Braun Strowman and defend against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, with Rollins slaying the beast and becoming champion. Yeah, he's gonna do it for Roman. Vince McMahon, on the other hand, supposedly, wants Braun Strowman to go over at the Royal Rumble and finally win the Universal title from Brock Lesnar, and then go on to WrestleMania to defend the championship against Drew McIntyre, who would then beat Strowman for the championship. And it made me think, which match would I prefer to see at WrestleMania of those two options? Now, I said months ago on the podcast that if Drew McIntyre was not wrestling for a championship, I didn't say which championship, I just said that if he wasn't wrestling for a championship by this year's WrestleMania, that these people were out of their minds. And I do think that he would make a fine choice as one of the top 2 or 3 people to sort of build around on that brand. To their credit, one of the few things they've done well on Monday Night Raw this year is they have done a good job of building up Drew McIntyre for the first time in his career, for the first time in all of the years, from the moment he debuted in 2009 or whatever year it was, to the modern day. This is the first time in all these years that he has ever spent in this company that they are truly making him feel like somebody special and not like a joke. It took him leaving the company and coming back to wake them up, but he put the work in, and now it's paying off for him, and it's a great story. Now, having him pal around on television with Baron Corbin doesn't exactly scream excitement to me, but hopefully this Corbin nonsense will come to an end on Monday night. So him winning the championship would be cool. That would make Braun a transitional champion if they did that. Frankly, Braun Strowman against Drew McIntyre just does not feel like a big enough deal to be a WrestleMania main event. Maybe in a year, but not right now. Now, Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins, on the other hand, that does feel like a WrestleMania main event or a co-main event. Assuming they end with Ronda and Becky. And they have been planting the seeds for this for a while now. Monday night was not the first time that Rollins in his promo has dropped little subtle digs in at Brock Lesnar in his promos. I mean, hell, you could go a hell of a lot farther back than that if you want to really tell the story of these two guys, all the way back to WrestleMania 31. Rollins may be the one guy that Brock Lesnar has never beaten, that he has never conquered in a one-on-one match. I mean, you take a look, it's a who's who of men that Brock Lesnar, since he has come back to WWE in 2012, that this guy has put down. He has beaten Roman Reigns, he beat Braun Strowman, he beat Dean Ambrose, he beat Samoa Joe, he beat The Undertaker, he beat Triple H, although Triple H beat him first. He beat John Cena, who also beat him first. He beat Daniel Bryan, he beat AJ Styles, he beat Randy Orton. It's like, I think I'm starting to see part of why interest in the product may be down so much. But the one man that he has never beaten straight up in a singles match, one-on-one, is Seth Rollins. Now, he pinned him in that triple threat match at the Royal Rumble a few years ago. Rollins did eat the fall in that match. John Cena was also in that match. But one-on-one, like all these other guys, never. Not once. There is a definite story there for them to tell if they want to tell it. And Rollins taking the title from Lesnar is what I, thought and was hoping they would do at SummerSlam, when Rollins was just absolutely on fire over the summer. I debated between Strowman and Rollins, who's the best choice in that situation. I thought Rollins would be the right choice. WWE, i.e. Vince McMahon, decided Roman Reigns was the right choice instead. Here's a chance to do it right this time. So of these two matches, my vote would be for Rollins and Lesnar. I think it would make for a better match. And I think as popular as Rollins is, he's one of the people, I think he's the one people most want to see beat Brock Lesnar. If you look at the rest of the Raw roster, is there anybody else who you think the fans, I'm not just talking, internet fan, I'm talking fans in general, the fans who are the ones that scream that burn it down catchphrase when he comes out and cheer for him on television, the ones that pay the ticket to go to the buildings, these half-empty buildings, half empty though they may be. I would not put that all on Seth Rollins, but on that roster, who else is there that you think the fans overall would rather beat Brock Lesnar for the championship? Because right now at this moment, I don't think Strowman is any more popular than Rollins is. I think he's cooled off a bit. So I look at the rest of the roster. Nobody else jumps out at me. The guy is Seth Rollins. And coming out of WrestleMania, let's say McIntyre gets a big win himself in another match on that show. You've now set Drew McIntyre up to either be the first man to challenge Seth for the title, or even if you wait a few months, you build it to SummerSlam as your SummerSlam Universal Championship match, McIntyre and Rollins. It could be a program coming out of WrestleMania for the championship. So if we're picking sides on this one, I'm going with Triple H in this fight. I vote for Rollins and Lesnar. But chime in with your thoughts. I want to know where you stand. That's why I covered this also, because I want to get feedback from you. I want to see how divided the opinion on this really is. Of the two scenarios, which one do you prefer?